Today I'm going to show you how to make sort of a Norma pasta, which is an eggplant-based pasta sauce from Sicily. But the really cool thing that I'm going to show you is how to make a tomato sauce with fresh tomatoes without having to peel them or de-seed them or anything like that. You can see right here, I just have a bunch of randoms. This is probably 5 or 6 on the vine tomatoes that big, and then chubbier cherry tomatoes. I guess I'd call them like tangerine tomatoes. And I just have them sitting in a little bit of salt. That's it. I'm gonna use them just like that. Come in with some olive oil. Don't be afraid to move, Heath. 2-ish cloves of garlic. Cool. This is an important step to season right here. Go for it. Hit it a little bit of salt. I have these dried red peppers. They are not spicy. I love the color that they add to oil, and I love the flavor, which is sweet. And I'm gonna do just a little bit of hot chili as well. Okay. Spin it around. Oh, right away I'm getting the smokiness of the dried sweet pepper. Some of them are turning black already. Love it. I always like to submerge them. Kind of deep fry the garlic. And once you're getting a pungent aroma, you can do one of two things. You can put the tomatoes in and then the wine and steam it. Steaming is the key to getting everything to break down so you get an oozy gooey sauce. Or you can put the wine in first and then the tomatoes. If this is really going crazy and you put the wine in, you might get a flambe and things are gonna splatter. As you can see, this is pretty pedestrian. It's not going too crazy, so I can come in. And I like to be generous with the wine. This is just a rosé that I have. I don't really enjoy drinking. And now we can come in with tomatoes. Now at this point, I'd crank it up for a second. Give it a little more salt. If you have any ugly basil, so like this one for example, stick it in. Cover it. Bring it to a gentle simmer. AKA reduce the heat. See? But make sure you still hear something. We want the bubbling to break apart the tomatoes. This eliminates the need to use a can. But it is going to be very watery, so we're gonna have to either lift this off and reduce it down before we add the pasta, 1. 2, finish cooking the pasta in here. That's a possibility, because then the pasta will absorb the extra water. Or 3, add a little bit of flour to it. Thicken it like a roux. All 3 of these work. Hear that? Maybe a little bit more. Just a tiny bit. Nice. I'm cooking for 2 people and I have a single baby eggplant here. All I did was add some salt to it, which pulls moisture off, as you can see. See the water dripping onto the cutting board there? So I just want to get that water off. And you could steam these by putting a basket over your pasta water, or you could bake them on a tray in the oven. That's cool. Preferably lifted so that heat circulates around them and they don't get stuck to the pan. But I am just going to shallow fry them. This is the traditional way that they do it in Sicily. It's really, really hard to fry them and keep them warm when you finally serve it. So what I'm thinking is I'll cook them and hold them in the oven until I'm ready for everything to happen. The other thing you could do is heat up your plates on the lowest setting in the oven, because there's nothing worse than cold fried stuff, which is about to be this become. Reorder the words and it makes sense. About to be this become. Okay, so we've got a pan here. feels pretty hot. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit more. And I'm gonna use a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And when I say a little bit, I mean enough to cover the bottom of the pan. I don't love this brand, so there it goes. So look, if we hit it with a little flour now, boom. All right, we are ready to fry. So here comes eggplant. I always like to do it away from me. Be careful. And don't overcrowd it. So maybe like 4 at a time. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. You can hit them a little bit of salt. Very simply just bring them to the paper towel to cool. And continue with the next batch. For quality control purposes, you should try. Tasty. All right, these guys have drained a lot of oil off. I'm just putting it on a rack-lined pan. I'm gonna stick them in the oven at 250 and hold them. Cool? Bye-bye. Let's have a look at our sauce. All right, so as you can see, it is beginning to break down. What it needs is a little stir from the bottom up. A lot of liquid, right? Love that. I do like to mash it a little bit now. I'd say it's been cooking for about 20 minutes on a medium-ish boil. And the aroma is pungent. The wine does so much. If you're not a wine drinker, vodka works well, and so does water. If you're on a budget, beer works great. Maybe, you know, not an IPA. The IPA would totally destroy the wonderful sweet taste of the tomatoes, but a simple lager would be good, or a Pilsner. Calamarata, because they look like calamari. Rigatoni work great, penne works great. Anything with a tube that's gonna be able to suck in the sauce and the cheese and the eggplant and is robust and not delicate like this sauce will be. We have boiling water. I am adding my salt. When I say like the ocean, I'm kind of kidding, but you do need to oversalt this once for you to know where it needs to be. So give it a stir, and the brand of salt you use will change the amount of a handful, and taste the water. It should taste like something. This tastes like something. So, pasta can go in. A little stir. That's it. I've got some ricotta. It's not the greatest ricotta in the world, but just have a can of it. It smells fresh and wonderful. This is gonna be great throughout. Traditionally, it's with something called ricotta salata, where they take this fresh ricotta and press it and salt it, hence salata, and it draws the moisture out just like we did on the eggplant before, and it becomes this semi-soft, almost like spongy cheese, and then you grate that on top. It can be a little difficult to find, but if you can find it, go for it. Otherwise, you know, just a knob of parm, grated freshly, with some standard whole milk ricotta. Don't get the fat-free stuff, guys. If you're going for it, go for it. The pasta is getting close. All right, let's get a cross section here. And can you see the ring there? It's like perfectly al dente here. This part isn't quite ready yet. You know, this half is doing well. But this is the time, and I'll try it. Nice resistance. Molto al dente though. So now is when I want to start marrying it with the sauce. And a little bit of pasta water with it is okay. As you can see, it's a little bit watery. Just a tiny bit. Maybe a little bit too much. So I'm gonna cook this in here for about 2 minutes. Because we have 2 minutes, that's enough time for me to add just a little bit of flour and cook the floury taste out of it. If I just dumped it on there, it would not be very good. But because we have some more time here, I say mix in just a little bit of flour. And this is a result of a fresh tomato sauce that was steaming with the top on, not reducing so that it would break down. You do have enough time to cook that floury taste out and still allow it to thicken for you. Nice. Boom, this guy can come up here. Cut him in half. This was just 2 minutes ago in the water only. This is right now. To me, this is perfect. Got nice resistance from just a little bit of the salt. They call it the salt. Perfect. Kill the heat. I would say put about half of your cheese in now to help thicken. Coming in with a spoonful of the ricotta. Look at those bad boys. So, here we go. 1, 3. 2, 3. What a bummer. Can put some other guys in the bottom just for fun. I think the 3 sticking out look cool. Okay. Christ almighty. Just get a few extra calamarata on top. Pretty good. Basil. Boom. Maybe some parsley. So, there. You've got a Norma sauce with what is essentially rigatoni, and you learned how to make a simple and quick tomato sauce from fresh tomatoes without all the fuss of peeling and de-seeding them. Let me know how it goes for you guys.